Hello and welcome to a surprise live stream. You may have noticed that as of late, I'm only doing one stream per week, and that's with my friend Shadow. This is gonna be a little bit like that, but I'm gonna be talking with my sister, and there she is, and I just need to take her off of mute, which I'm making a big deal of because in my last live stream with a Shadow, I forgot to take the desktop audio off of mute for about the first 20 minutes of the live stream. So, yeah, that didn't go well. Anyway, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jan. Um, Never really done a live stream like this before, so you taking my virginity.
Yeah,
Um,
you've never done any live streaming whatsoever. I'm doing all of the technical stuff, and I just gave her the link to my Zoom and said, "Yeah, just go on there and we'll just talk." So we don't really have anything planned. Whereas with the show that I do with Shadow, we kind of plan things very loosely. Um, but for this one, we haven't because we don't know whether we want to make this a regular thing or like every now and then just when we feel like it. Because it's quite hard to find stuff to talk about half the time. At least I find it that way.
yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes, eh?
Yeah.
Um, oh,
So before we get into any random topic, I did say to you before going live about promoting your Etsy because um, of you being an artist and all the rest of it. So do you want to plug that now?
yeah. So I have an Etsy account. At the moment, I've got some illustrations on there for sale. That are all framed. They're all hand drawn. Um, You could also message me if you wanted anything in particular, and if I can do that, I would be more than happy to, and we can discuss that. I don't really have any pictures or anything I can show right now,
What's the name
but
of your Etsy?
oh, sorry, yeah, the name of my shop is Jaded Planet by Janet.
And
It's called
what I'll
Etsy.
do is I'll put the link to that in the highlight of this, which will be on Twitch, and I'll also put it in the description of the YouTube export. So just keep checking all of the descriptions on everything that I do because that's where I kind of put what the thing's about and if there was any issues while making it. So, yeah. Do you have any of the artwork to hand?
Um, there might be some over there in the corner. Give
Do you
me
want
one
do you
second.
want to go and grab it quickly? See, this is how unprepared we were. Like, I have stuff that I can just grab really quickly because it's all like within arm's reach. But yeah, we didn't plan this too much, so just got to bear with us.
I've only got one ready in the frame in in this room
Right? Okay.
because I was so unprepared. Um, but this is just one of them. I don't know how well you can see that because of the lighting.
There's a bit of glare. Yeah, there we go. That's fine.
But I also have a few other um lady like naked body illustrations, and I also have a couple of animals and some very dribbly lips.
So I guess what you're currently doing is kind of erotic.
uh, I suppose in a sense, but I don't know if I would label it erotic
Okay.
because it's not like rude. It's more like
It's definitely adult themed, so I'm probably going to have to make this 18 plus for the video playback just to be on the safe side because YouTube is a pain in the butt to put it
well, if
politely.
I delve into raunchy.
I don't think so, but YouTube is a yeah. I don't even want to finish that. So, um, actually, you showing that fits in quite nicely with what I was wanting to show. Um, do you remember that movie that I showed you and I said that I think you might like the guy behind all the visual effects, and it was quite an oldish movie. I don't want to say the name yet, just in case that's what sparks it off. Um, do you have a rough idea of the one that I'm referring to?
No.
Okay, well, as soon as I show you the box, it will. Now, do you remember?
Yeah, I
Okay,
remember that.
so
It's good.
this is Society, a film by Brian Yunze. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Um, and it's a movie that I've came across just randomly. Somebody who I watch on here, um, they were talking about it on like their talk show because they'd recently picked it up, and it was the Arrow special edition, which is why it's in this really cool art artwork. Um, if I'd have thought, I would have had the original movie poster art set to be underneath me, but I didn't think that far ahead, and I don't want to go looking for it right now. Um, but it's nowhere near as cool as this. Um, and the whole crux of the movie is essentially the upper classes or the like rich, literally um, eating the poor, or like, well, they don't
Feeding
actually
off.
they don't actually eat them. They kind of absorb them, which is even more weird. Which is why it kind of looks like, well, I'm not sure how well that's coming across, but yeah, I'll see if I can get this side without any glare. Yeah, like I just think it's a really fun, very hit the nail on the head kind of thing of how society is. It's certainly not subtle by any means, um, and I'm not sure whether I'd class that as a horror movie or not.
Um, I don't know. I think I might, like a thriller or maybe it's not a thriller. I don't know. I find putting things into categories very difficult because
You're not the only one.
like even like when I look on Netflix and things like that, like I find that like a film will be in a certain category but also will be like several others.
Yeah, it's kind of
So
weird to put stuff in boxes in that sense, but
yeah.
yeah, that's definitely become one of my favorite. Well, I'll say horror because it is on my horror shelf. Um, but by today's standards, I'd say it's very tame in its horror, um, but it's certainly effective, and I really like that it's all practical effects, which I know you don't really care all that much for. Like, you don't really look too deeply into the whole technical side of stuff. That's more my thing.
No, it's just whether I enjoy it or not.
Yeah. Um, and I've just thought of another one that I've shown you in the past. Um, was it Brain of Blood?
Yeah.
I'll just pull that one off my shelf as well. Like, it's completely different from all the other ones. I'll I'll pull this set off actually.
We like watching some good old-fashioned horrors, don't we?
Aye, we do. Okay, so I got this box set. Funny enough, because the same person who mentioned about Society, they were saying this box set they really wanted to get because it had a important movie for them growing up, which up until this release was thought to be a lost film, and it was the torture chamber of Dr. Sadism, and um, it was an exclusive to this set because the picture quality wasn't all that great because of the way that they had to find the film prints, um, and they did the best that they could, and they thought they'll just have it be an extra film for this box set. But that to one side for one moment. Going back to Brain of Blood, that's what it
I
looks
really
like.
love, I really love the artwork
Yeah,
on
that
that.
is pretty cool.
I like the artwork on quite a lot of like old low budget horrors. Not all low budget, but yeah,
Well,
I just find the artwork really like beautiful and like classic. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, these two box sets that I've got here, which I'm not even going to try and pull off, um, but it's got 200 movies in each set, and the picture quality is god awful. Whereas this one, because it's Blu-ray and it's from a boutique label, they've like treat it like it's the best thing ever. So you get like it in the best quality ever. Um, but yeah, I kind of like seeing the old. I guess schlocky is the word. Those kind of movies in the worst picture quality ever. Um, which is kind of odd because most of the time I'm all about seeing stuff in the best possible thing. I mean, that's kind of why I got this because I was wanting to see what all the fuss was. Um, and honestly, out of all of the movies on this box set, it's only really worth it for the Brain of Blood and the Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. But that second movie that I've just mentioned is no longer exclusive to that set because I got a Christopher Lee set, um, which that movie has Christopher Lee in it, um, and they found a much better print of the film. I think it was in Germany, um, and they've just took the audio from the print from this one, I think, and
Oh yeah.
put it over the much better picture quality of that other release, um, which I'm actually yet to see that film on the Christopher Lee set. I got about halfway through, and for some reason, I haven't got got back to it yet. Unfortunately, though, because like apart from Society, the other sets that I've shown, so like this Hemisphere set and the Christopher Lee set, which you can just about see in the top corner there, which is
The black
green.
one.
It's green and bright yellow, like just there. Can you see
Oh
it?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, those are region A, so they're only gonna work in America, or if you've got a region 3 player, like what I do. So you're probably never gonna see these because you just don't have a region 3 player, and you don't even have a Blu-ray player. Never mind. So
No. I have an Xbox 360, and that's what I play my DVDs off.
no. Apparently though, if you got one of the more recent Xboxes, they would play Blu-rays,
Yeah, the Xbox One does,
right?
um, but I don't think it'll play different regions.
No, that's a very specialist thing, which you kind of pay through the nose for. But my God, is it worth it? I mean, I got the Friday the 13th box set with all of the movies in. Um, the later ones you don't tend to see on Blu-ray, so it
Yeah.
was worth it alone for that. But like, you got so many extras on that box set, it's ridiculous. It was expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely worth it. I, I can remember having a DVD set of the Friday the 13th movies, which was just the first 8. And I can remember
Yeah.
watching them with you. Like, this is back when you lived at home, so that's going back quite a long time ago.
Yeah, because I've lived here for about 11 years now, I think.
And I think we only watched the first 4. I don't remember if I actually watched the rest of them, um, because when I watched the Blu-rays, like I could remember up until the 4th one because it was like claiming to be the end of like the whole Jason thing, which of course it wasn't. Um, but
Yeah.
that always happens. Um, have you seen the 5th one?
I'm not sure. There's that many. Like, I don't know what ones I've seen and what ones I haven't seen, if I'm not perfectly honest with you.
Yeah,
Like,
and they are kind of the same. So
yeah. Um, I know. I can't remember. I might need to rewatch them.
well, if you don't mind spoilers, I could give you the gist of what the 5th one is.
No, I'm not bothered by spoilers.
Okay,
Usually it makes me more excited to like actually see it.
well, the kid who kills Jason in the 4th one, we see him all grown up, played by a completely different actor, obviously because they were done very quickly after each other, um, and we think that he's kind of becoming the next Jason. Um, Turns out though it was the paramedic who we seen right at the beginning, um, because we find out at the end when he's being killed that the boy that gets killed at the beginning was his son. So he decides to go on a murderous rampage, pretending that he's Jason, and we kind of think that it might be him or it might be the I've forgotten the characters' names now. But the kid that killed him in the fourth one, um, it's kind of played off as it could be this person or it could be that person.
Hmm.
That's basically it.
I I rewatched the first Scream movie not so long ago, and I actually really like I forgot how good it was. Like I really enjoyed watching it back, even though it's like really dated.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like, what's your favorite scary movie? Like I just properly enjoyed it. But it's got me really excited, like for the fifth one. It is the fifth one, isn't it? The new one.
Technically, yeah. I mean, they don't number it, and it's just called Scream, so that's kind of stupid. But it is the fifth one. I actually haven't seen the fourth one yet, which,
I can't remember if I've seen it or I haven't. Like, I feel like I have, but I'm not sure because I don't remember
well,
really anything.
the fourth Scream, its whole thing was like when franchises do a reboot, um, years after the original, which
Yeah.
is technically what the fourth one was. Um, which I know because I've kind of had spoilers, but I mean it's unavoidable at this point to be on the internet and not see spoilers for anything. So,
Yeah, true.
um, but I haven't seen it. But the main reason why I want to see it is I think it's one of Wes Craven's last movies that he was a part of, who was responsible for creating Scream. So that's kind of like his end of involvement with it because he died not long afterwards.
Mm. Was it alright if I pop to the toilet quickly?
Yeah, sure. Run.
I forgot to go. I forgot to go before we started, and I didn't have time to have my tea, so I just been munching me roast potatoes. Just in case anyone was wondering.
Run. So while we're waiting for her to come back, has anybody seen any horror movies? Uh, Feel free to put your thoughts on what we're saying in the chat. Just interact with us as much as you want. Um, One of my favourite horror movies is probably Friday the 13th, as you can tell by the fact I've got the entire box set. But one of the other ones is probably Nightmare on Elm Street because of the whole Wes Craven thing. He was involved with the first one, and I don't think he was involved again until um, the seventh one. I have vague recollections that he was involved in some capacity with the third one, um, but I kind of have a soft spot for all of them. The second one is definitely kind of you can watch it out of sequence because 1, 3, and 7 kind of fit really nice together. Um, well, uh, all of them kind of do, to be honest. After that point, um, but yeah, the second one is definitely the gay Nightmare on Elm Street. Um, not just because the final guy, as it is in that one, is actually played by a gay actor, which I think is pretty cool. Being gay myself, so I got to support and all the rest of it. Hurry back, Jan.
I'm packing this I try to sneak through. There's no if you to see me or not.
Yep, I can see right up until your bookcase.
Well, that's quite far.
Totally just dead air while we're waiting for you to come back.
Sorry.
It's alright. These things happen.
I wonder if anyone has tried these
What are
and what they
these?
think of them. They're from Morrison's. They're called Naughty Vegan, and it is a no beef pasty.
Those sound really nice.
They're actually lovely. Like I normally don't get stuff like that because like I never really liked this stuff when I wasn't vegan, so I don't normally buy it. It doesn't really like tickle me fancy, if you like. But they didn't have the cheese ones that I went in for, and these ones were on offer, so I tried them, and they're pretty nice. I absolutely recommend.
Seeing as though you've brought the whole food thing into it, um, do you want to go into why you are having the no meat thing?
Well, I've always kind of disliked meat. Um, and I'm allergic. I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't really eat like have milk or anything.
Mm-hmm. Which of course
So
already knew, but
yeah,
for you
so
guys,
so
whoever finds this,
slowly, so slowly I've like kind of transitioned, if you like, into being a vegan. But really, I only ever had to cut out eggs, and sometimes sometimes we all make mistakes, we all slip up. Because this is what I want people to understand, right? Is as long as you're trying your best, not someone else's best, your personal best. So if you've had, I don't know, a battered sausage from the fish and chips, or you've accidentally had something with milk in, or you're really craving an egg, so you're gonna have an egg, it doesn't matter because you're trying your best. Do you know what I mean? You can't cut out food instantly. You have to do it over time, otherwise you're gonna get poorly. Like you're gonna get all sorts of tummy problems. Your system's just gonna go into shock because, like, a lot of people think you've just got to do it instantly like that. And if you slip up or you accidentally have something, like you get labelled or you get, oh, you're the worst vegan in the world, la la la, and people say horrible things to you. So I just want people to be aware that's not how it works. Like, if you're not there yet, like we don't all have to be like the
it's more
that kind
about
of that
reducing
kind of
the
yeah,
amount
it's we don't
of.
all have to be that kind of scary vegan, do you know what I mean? That tries to turn other people and they're like, hey, recycling, reusing, that kind of stuff. We don't all have to be like that. And that's okay. Like
Why do I get the feeling that you were channeling Lena Norms while while doing that.
Well, I wasn't actually thinking about her, but um, you
Yeah,
said it, not me.
she is kind of extreme, but like she does say the same thing that we've just said, but she's very kind of forceful about it, which
Yeah.
kind of goes against it to some degree, you know?
Well, no one likes being preached at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
which unfortunately a lot of her videos do kind of come across like that, as much as I do like to watch them from time to time.
yeah. Well, like originally, how I started um not eating meat, shall we say, is I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I was only young, and we was at a Folly Farm in Wales.
Right,
I don't know what it's like now, but yeah, we were there. And can you remember that, pardon me, that sheep? It was like had brown curly hair, and it had like quite long hair. It wasn't
it's
like
not
a
fair,
normal
Jan, it's
looking
wool, but yeah, I know what you
hair,
mean.
whatever. But anyway, like it wasn't like a normal sheep. It was like a bit longer and like curly, like ringlets. And like I think it recognized us because we'd been like a couple of times, and it'd like wag its tail and come running up to us, and like it was so cute. And that's when my dad must have said something to me because that I kind of made the connection to that's where lamb comes from. So I just completely stopped eating lamb. Like I would never eat it, like lamb chops, lamb roast, or whatever. Like I just wouldn't stop eat. Like, I just completely cut it out straight away from being a child. Like I just would not eat it, and
I,
it just
I
kind
don't
of rolled
remember
off.
that, but obviously that was like a key memory for you. One thing that I do remember from back then, I think I must have been about 4 years old,
Mm,
and um, the the farm they done this thing where you could feed the sheep the bottles, like because they were still quite young. And I can remember one of the sheep stood on my foot, and you wouldn't think that it would hurt, but my God, it did.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
I remember that bloody goat though.
Oh yeah. Tell the goat story.
I don't know how old I was. I'm guessing I was about 7, 8, give or take.
Right.
But yeah. So I found this bag of food. Mum and Dad say that they bought it, but they never because I remember finding it. But anyway, right, I found this bag of food. So he's little Janet with a bag of food, feeding all the animals, loving life. And there is this ginormous goat, and I mean it was massive. It was one of those ones where they get floppy ears. I don't know what breed it is.
Yeah, me neither. But carry on.
I was stood there and I took out a little bit of the food and I was like, "Hey, goatie, eat some food, have a little snacky." And instead of taking the food out my hand, it took the bloody bag.
Yeah.
I don't know how it reached it. I don't know how it happened, but it did, and I was devastated.
I've just thought of another horror story from our childhood to do with um going to Wales because we used to go to Wales every year because we'd go down to visit one of my dad's friends who like we kind of consider them family. Or
Yeah,
we
like we call him uncle, but
yeah
technically he's not.
yeah like no blood relation whatsoever. Um, yeah, so um, I don't know how much of this you want me to say. So once you've clicked what I'm gonna say, you can kind of chirp in. Um,
Okay.
it was one time when um, the youngest, I think, was looking after us because like they're way older than us, and we were in the caravan, um, and um, like on the night of us making this sandwich, you
Oh,
yeah, you couldn't have it. Um, and I'll
because I wasn't very well.
yeah, I mean I'll not go into how you weren't very well. I'll leave that to you. How much of that you want to um put out there, but I don't even remember what we put in this sandwich now. I know we put ham in it and we put Jaffa cakes and we put ketchup in it, but apart from that, I don't remember anything else.
Yeah, I think he's put some cheese in as well. I think it was literally a little bit of everything that was in the caravan.
Probably. Like, it was the vilest thing. Like, there's no way that I could eat that thing now. No way.
Yeah, but you said it, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah,
Just to like be horrible at me because I couldn't eat it. And
yeah.
I wanted some Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, you didn't want to try the sandwich, but you wanted the Jack Cakes, but we're like, nope, you can't. That was really hard to tell that story without giving names, because obviously
Yeah,
they're not here to say that I can,
consent.
yeah, So, done my best there.
Yeah, I found it quite difficult because I was like, I go, oh, you mean? And then I'm like, oh no, don't say
Yeah,
it. But yeah, like basically, we'd been to a market that day. It was kind of like um an antiques market slash flea market.
yeah,
It was like a bit of them both. It was like a really big market. We used to go to every year when we were there. It was actually pretty good. Like I still think about that market sometimes, and I want to go because you used to get some awesome stuff in there.
just for any Americans watching, the kind of thing that we're referring to would probably be like um, a swap meet kind of market. Like it
A
has
what?
swap meet.
Swap meat?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's what they call like car boot type stuff or like
that's strange.
market type stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that's the closest thing that I could think of to being what this kind of thing was like. Carry
Yeah.
on.
Anyway, so we were there, and I decided that I wanted to get like a pick and mix thing, like a treat.
Which is just like sweets or candies of like really cheap stuff, but it's always like really expensive there, which is weird.
Yeah. And like you said you wanted some as well, but then a bit later on you changed your mind and you wanted to get like a beach towel or something.
Yeah, I can remember what towel it was as well.
Was it a Power Rangers one?
It was indeed.
Uh,
Yeah,
and yeah, I got some fudge and I ate it, but it had like I didn't realize at the time. Plus, I was a kid, so I kind of didn't care. But it had like insects and wasps and stuff like crawling on it. So basically, without going into too much detail, because I'm an open book, but YouTube doesn't like um things going graphical, shall we say. So, yeah, basically, I just wasn't very well.
Yep, you made yourself ill because of that. Um, you say you had fudge, but you had quite a lot, shall we say, and that's as much as I'll say. So you can imagine the kind of ill that she was. God, I wish we could just say it, but we can't.
I know. And I got told that I wasn't allowed to eat anything. And as a kid, I was the kind of kid that did what she was told to do.
Yeah, you're definitely not like that
Uh,
now.
I know. Now I just like, and I could do what I want to do. I almost sweared there, but I try to keep it clean.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if I drop any F bombs or S
If you do, you
bombs.
do.
No.
I mean, we've been live now for about 40 minutes, so if the YouTube algorithm picks up that after 40 minutes, it's fine because on YouTube, generally it's the first 3 minutes of a video that they care about the most because most people don't have the attention span to watch a video that's longer than 10 minutes. So I fully expect not many people will watch the video playback of this, which is fine. Um, it just means we can be a bit more open than um, most people. But
I didn't know that.
yeah,
So, did anyone send comments to you, like questions or anything? Because I
there's
can't see if there's anyone joined the chat or
I,
talking.
I can see that there's two people watching, but there's no comments, unfortunately.
Oh,
Um,
well, if you have any questions, like feel free to ask, and we'll
yeah, we can literally talk about anything. So
like, why don't you tell us what your favorite film is? What's your favorite scary movie?
well, since though we've kind of covered horror movies at the beginning of this, what would you say is your favorite movie just in general?
Um, well, I like different films for different reasons and different things. But like, no, if you're in like you need a cheering up mood or to relax
Hmm.
or whatever, I love watching Knocked Up. Like Seth Rogen, oh, I love him.
Interesting. That isn't the movie that I thought you were gonna say.
What did you think I was gonna say?
Mean Girls.
I say I don't watch that often. Like I used to. Um, but I do like Mean Girls as well.
You
But yeah, Seth
you
Rogen.
kind of forced me to watch it because when that movie came out, I was very much with the mindset of, oh, I don't like chick flicks. Like that was the terminology that I would use back then. And like when you actually got me to watch it, I was like, oh my god, that's like the best movie ever. And like
Yeah.
now I'm kind of known as the um, Mean Girls super fan amongst the group of people who showed me like these kind of things. So yeah, that's just funny how that's worked out.
No, like, I love Seth Rogen, like, but I actually watched, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a documentary thing, and it basically said that, um, like when you're feeling like depressed or like just really low and sad, and you like what you watch a certain sort of film that you've watched like a million times, and it makes you feel good, or it makes you cry, or whatever.
Yeah,
Basically, it was saying along the lines of, um, we rewatch movies um to because we know how it's made us feel, we know what's going to happen, we know how it affects us. So we rewatch it as it's like a safety thing, a safety mechanism. So
Yeah.
when you're feeling all like, "Rah," like you can put it on and you know how it's going to affect you, you know how you're going to feel.
That makes
Like,
a lot of
it's
sense.
kind of like a control thing
Yeah.
in like a good way. Like, I kind of thought, oh, that makes a lot of sense actually.
You know
Like,
what you saying about like you know how things affect you. It also works in the opposite way. Like um, if things make you cry and you watch it. Um, for example, as cringy as this is for me to admit now, but there is an episode or two of Power Rangers, which, in particular, from when I was a kid, which made me cry when I was a kid. And of course, when I'm watching that show, I'm still able to see it through kids' eyes because, like, you put that show on, and I'm just like, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in
yeah,
that headspace. Um, and of course, when it gets to that episode, which I don't even remember what the name of the episode is, um, but it's the Power Rangers Turbo season as well, which a lot of people don't like. But I actually like that one because they put a lot of stuff in that season to change it up from what came before. Um, Granted, it was kind of very quickly put in, so I think that's why fans don't like it quite as much. Um, Plus, they like to hate on that season because the Blue Ranger got changed to a kid actor, which I've never understood why people hate on that, particularly when the target audience for that show is a kid. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, that kid could be me, you know? Even though, like, with me having cerebral palsy, um, that didn't really enter my head. I was just like,
yeah,
that kid actor could totally be me. Like, I never let my disability kind of get in the way of that. Um, Having said that, it is nice to see um, disability representation in shows. Um, I mean, you know Malcolm in the Middle.
yeah,
There's a character in that who's in a wheelchair, and whilst I don't like that the actor is not disabled themselves, and it should have gone to a disabled actor, um, it was of a time when that really wasn't thought of as being a thing. Plus, they were like using his disability kind of playing it for laughs. But I mean, it was like the year 2000 up until I'm guessing 2007 because there's 7 seasons. But like, yeah, it's definitely not aged well in that respect. But it's still a great show. It's kind of like Friends. I mean, both of us watched Friends, and
yeah.
that's super
I've got,
dated now.
I've got. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now, and you're not so tough. I've got a stick in my head.
Well, hopefully, um, that didn't come through as a content match.
Oh yeah.
If it did, then it just will have been muted, so it's fine. Like Twitch
It's funny.
automatically mutes if there is a music content match for the video playbacks. So if that is the case, then I apologise. However, I think it might have been different enough, so I'm hoping that you murdered that perfectly.
What you trying to say like that I can't sing?
Yeah, basically. In the nicest
How
possible way.
rude. How rude.
I'm actually re-watching Malcolm in the Middle now. Um, I've been going through like each season. Um, I'm trying to get through it like one season per week, and I'm like
Yeah.
picking out certain episodes that I want to talk about with Shadow on the geek thing that I do. Um, I mean, I could talk about that now, but I'd only be repeating myself when I'm doing it with him, so I'd rather not. Um, what can you remember from that show?
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
I remember an episode where the eldest one, um, he bounces a ball off the ceiling or something, and they find out there's asbestos. But I don't really remember a great deal about it, if I'm completely honest. Like a lot of my memories from being like young are virtually non-existent.
right. The eldest one is the one that was in military school, right?
Oh, the middle one there.
Middle one.
The second, no, the second eldest.
That'll be Reese. Um, yeah, I have to say I don't remember that particular piece. So I haven't came across it yet in my rewatching. Otherwise, I'd know like the entire plot of that episode. Um, I think it must be like towards the end of the show's run,
I have no idea.
because I don't really remember that much about the show. But it is fun rewatching it now and like just seeing how dated it is. Like not only in terms of the technology, but like just
Well, yeah, because you've got to think like when we used to watch stuff like that, like people didn't really have mobile phones and stuff like that like they do now.
yeah.
Like,
Back in my day.
yeah, like we've turned into them people. We're old.
We're only in our
I've been
30s.
I've been thinking about rewatching Vampire Diaries. I haven't started it yet. I just keep thinking about it.
I never got into that. I
I did. I
watched
really enjoyed it.
I watched Teen
It-
Wolf. I really like that.
It's just annoying that like everybody in it's like super beautiful.
I think that's the point.
Probably. It's just a bit annoying.
It's funny you should say that, right? Because I can remember you used to watch the OC years ago when that was like brand
Yeah,
new.
I did. I got really into it, didn't I, for a bit?
I think it's on Disney Plus if you were wanting to see it.
I don't know.
I'm sure I've seen that on there. Um, and I really didn't like that show, but you really got into it.
Yeah,
And
to be honest, like if I rewatch that now, I think I'd probably just hate
you
it.
probably would, yeah. You'd be like, what the hell was I watching? Why did I like
Yeah,
this show?
I can't believe I watched Yes. Oh my god, can't believe it.
Then again, you might actually get into it. Who
I just
knows?
went through there to check my heating, right? Because I
Right.
was like sat here thinking, "Oh, I feel a bit cold, but I remember putting the heating on. Oh, you just kicked me top, baby. I'm talking to my cat.
There she is.
um,
Hi, Coco.
yeah, I just went to go check the heating, thinking like, well, it feels cold, and I felt the radiator and it was cold, and it wasn't on at all. I must have literally switched it off.
Oh, you thought about you, you thought about putting it on, but you actually never.
Yeah,
Quite
I
possibly.
don't know. I feel like I did put it on, but like you say, I might not have. And now I'm thinking, did I turn it off last night?
Oh God.
But I did because I've just checked on my app.
Fair enough. Um, I can remember you used to watch Scrubs quite a lot.
Yeah, I did. When I was like in school, I used to watch Scrubs quite a lot.
I don't mind Scrubs, but it's not a show that I've seen like every episode. Um, I've seen like a bunch of the early ones and then a bunch of the later ones, but there's a load in the middle that I've probably never seen.
Yeah, like I used to watch quite a lot of South Park as well. I still do every now and again.
I
'Cause I
think
quite
the
like,
the only thing that I've seen of South Park that I can remember is the movie.
oh yeah,
I'll have,
who's your favorite character?
what of South Park?
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I'd have one to be honest.
Oh,
It's
I do.
it's not a show that I'm proud to say that I ever watched. Like I much prefer like Rick and Morty to um, South Park now. I think South Park's had its day.
Do you know my favorite character is out of South Park?
Go on,
Butters.
but he's an idiot.
Little butterscotch.
He's like the Ralph Wiggum of that universe.
No, he isn't.
uh,
Butterscotch man is so cute. And in like the newer ones, with COVID and stuff, he turns out to be quite the a-hole when he's all grown up.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty good actually. You should try and watch him.
Do they still kill Kenny in every episode?
No, no.
I wonder when that stopped.
Um, in the second season, I think. Not
Nah,
too sure.
surely they must have still been doing it for quite a while. Because I know one thing about the show. They changed from it being like each new episode was like a self-contained story, um, to like each season being like one story arc. I know they changed it to that, but
Yeah, they did. Like my favorite one of them's Integrity Farm.
fair enough. Why do I
Yeah,
get the
they get
feeling that that's them taking the mick out of Animal Farm just by the name of
uh,
it?
no. Stan's dad decides to grow weed, so he gets like a weed farm,
Fair enough.
and they've got a towelly, which is like a really stoned towel that talks to them.
So glad that you explained that because I haven't seen it, so didn't have a clue.
Uh, I think it's really funny.
Uh,
Yeah. Did our watchers ask any questions?
Still no questions.
Oh man, ask us some questions. I
Well,
won't bite you.
I know what people tend to do is like they put these random chat things on just in the background while they're doing other stuff like cleaning the house or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's probably what's happening. I'm
So they're
actually,
listening to us like we're a podcast.
yeah, pretty much, which is fine. Like, I'm actually
Yeah.
over the moon that I've actually got two people watching. That doesn't happen very often.
Well, congratulations.
I think it's purely because I've got you here.
Do you reckon I'm not that interesting?
I don't know. You're pretty crazy.
Uh, I have my moments, I have to admit. I
Okay,
do have my moments.
I'm gonna ask this, even though I kind of already know the answer. But have you read any good books lately?
No.
Well, that's the end of that conversation.
I was reading one, but I get very easily distracted. Like I swear I must have like ADHD or something. But
Was
yeah,
it?
so I started reading a book and then I put it down because I got distracted and I keep meaning to go back to it, but I
Was it?
haven't yet.
Was it that horror one that I picked up for you?
Yeah, about the cuddle party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and grab it.
And another one that I did that too is The Shining. Excuse me.
Oh, we can
Excuse
talk about The
me.
Shining.
I need to go get a book.
I'm just gonna be totally watching the cat while we wait for you to come back.
I'm here, I'm here. It was next to me bed. So, Snuggle Club
Mhm.
by Carlton Melick. I think I said that right. I really like the artwork on the front though.
Hold it a little bit higher. It's. Oh, there we go. It's so hard to get it without glare, isn't it?
Yeah, but
That's the
it's not
best
a
you're
very
gonna get.
thick book either. It's like pretty slim.
Yeah, I would have probably got through that fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's just I was reading it. I think it was Dad's birthday.
Okay.
I'm up to chapter three.
Can you remember what happened in the other chapters, though? With it being so long
Uh,
between.
yeah, I can. I can remember some bits. I think they only got up to putting their pajamas on or something. But sometimes if I can't remember, if I read like the last page,
Then it all comes back.
sometimes it all comes back. Yeah.
Cool. That's actually pretty good. Um, because
But
that
this one, however,
being able to read like the last line of the previous chapter and it all kind of floods back to you is just a sign of really good writing usually. So yeah.
woohoo. But
So
yeah, I
The
love The
Shining.
Shining, but I don't even know how far I got on this book.
I do
Oh,
have The
it is.
Shining, and it's
Oh, right.
actually in a box under my desk, so I can't grab it right now. Um, but
Don't be offended though, because it's got paint on it.
it's not my book. I don't give a shit.
I didn't do that. That was already on there when I got the book.
Okay.
But I'm not bothered about that kind of thing because this is what I like to do with books.
Yeah, she likes to break the spine. Like probably the worst thing you
Am I,
could do with a book.
am I triggering anybody? Are you triggered?
I like don't like that, but I've got so many second-hand books now where the spine's already been broken before I've even bought it. Like
Yeah.
I kind of don't care as much.
So you weren't triggered.
No, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint you.
You wanted to trigger you. Did you want him to be triggered?
She's just thinking, who you talking to? What are you doing?
Probably.
You're normally in
What?
the other room by now.
You don't sit like this on the sofa. What are you doing? She just turned around to be like, stroke me.
So, have you played any good games recently?
Well, I got a bit addicted to playing Sims 4.
What is it with you and The Sims? I just,
I love it.
I
I just like,
never understood the appeal to it.
because you can like, this is going to sound really bad, because you can like basically play God, can't you?
Apart from creating your own character, I
Yeah, they've brought a mobile game out as well where you can like build your own city.
fair enough. I just, it just doesn't appeal to me. Like you've got Animal Crossing,
You
which
used to play
I used to create characters and then do nothing with them.
it. I need to disconnect it now.
Fair enough.
Changed sides.
It
Sorry, it's
it
really difficult to keep it like this.
it's fine. It's still within the um thing. Like it hasn't really changed much.
Oh, good.
It's just you got greyish bars on each side, which is bigger than what it was when it was the other way. That's all.
All right. Well,
So yeah, what was I saying?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Wow, you weren't even listening.
I told you I get distracted so easily.
So mean.
Like my brain would have literally been like thinking about me roast potatoes or something.
Oh yeah. Okay, The Sims. I
Oh
did.
yeah, that's what we're talking about. Sorry.
I did have The Sims 3, and I did play that, and I don't remember what the code was, but you could like get infinite money essentially, and like
Mm,
just do whatever. So you didn't really need to have your sim doing a job or
yeah, the
whatever.
Motherlode and Rosebud, they're like some of the money treats. Cheats.
I'm surprised
Think
that
about
they
roast
have
potatoes.
the cheats in the newer one as well, because you don't see like cheat menus at all now in modern games.
Well, um, if you play Sims 3,
Mm,
mind you, this is on the Xbox 360. I don't know about anywhere else, but I'm assuming that it's still on there somewhere. Um, if you hold in the like all four of the trigger buttons on the back
right,
at the same time, that like enables your cheats basically. And then if you go into miscellaneous items, there's this like pink llama. It's called, I can't remember the proper name that give this llama, but it's zero simoleons. So you can like get that. That's like what they call their money, simoleons.
okay,
Um, and you get that and you can like put it somewhere on your property, and then you get your sim to click on it, and it literally comes up with all of the cheats, so you can just click on what cheat you want.
Fair enough.
which is pretty cool. So you can just have like unlimited money because like the money cheats, the first one, because I think it's the most popular.
Probably.
But yeah. So there you go. If you just didn't know that, you do now.
Yeah, so anyway, The Sims and those kind of games I just never got into. I mean, Animal Crossing, for example, it looks really cute and it sounds like a really relaxing game, but at the same time, it's like very much a simplified version of The Sims from
What do you play that game on? Because like I've heard loads of people go on about it, and I kind of want to try it.
Animal
And
Crossing. It's a
yeah,
Nintendo game, so I guess the most current console would be the Switch to play it on.
oh, but I don't have a Switch.
Can't help you then.
Hmm.
I haven't got a Switch either, so like we're fine.
I've got a roast potato though. Probably the pretty young looking one as well.
This is so British. Like you just used the word "shan" and like people in America aren't gonna know what the hell you're on
Oh yeah, I
about.
didn't realise. It just came out without me thinking.
uh, I,
Um,
I don't even know what you would say like to
it
explain.
means shit, poo poo, caca.
Not good then. In other
Yeah.
words.
Not very good,
Okay.
but it tastes pretty good.
Okay. I have a random question for you.
Uh-huh.
Doctor Who.
Hmm.
Even though I know you don't particularly watch it, the Doctor being played by a woman, are you for this or are you against it?
Uh, I only watched David Tennant when he was Doctor Who.
I mean, let's be fair, that is like the best of the new Who, so I can't blame you for that.
He was pretty sexy, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah, definitely.
But I think it's good. Like they're including women in all these things that women weren't allowed to do before. I think it's really good. But I mean, because I haven't seen any of them, I don't think I've got a really huge opinion on it because I don't know how well her acting is, or do you know what I mean, or how it is gone.
Well,
But the idea of it, I quite like. Like, I liked that they did the girls, Ghostbusters,
uh,
but I'd prefer the original.
I wouldn't mind the all-female Ghostbusters as much if they'd have done it as one of the original group doing a passing of the torch kind of thing, but
Mm.
as they treat it as like a complete reboot, as if the first two movies never happened, that kind of sucked. Plus, I didn't like the fact that they had Chris Hemsworth playing the receptionist, and he was playing a real thick character, and like,
I like that though because, um, coming from a feminist point of view, they basically treat him how women have been treated for years, but
okay,
it's still sexism. So they're trying to defeat sexism,
with
but
sexism,
then put more sexism in it.
yeah, which is not good. Um, you say that, but the receptionist in the original Ghostbusters, uh, who I actually remember being called Janine, I don't know why that stuck in my head, but there you go. Um, I thought she was like one of the best characters in the movie because like when they actually get somebody serious to like hire them, there's that
Uh-huh.
whole scene like just before they go into the montage and the song's playing and she's like, "We got one!" Like, I just love that bit.
Like, woo!
I'm such a geek, but whatever. Yeah, it is what it is,
Going back to the games,
right?
I really love, really love Life is Strange.
That's the one I'm yet to play, but I've seen people play it, so I kind of know the plot of like one on or the second one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
Like it is a very different style of game, which I really like.
I probably would stream that. It's just I need to buy it. That's the only thing. Like I ca
Yeah, well, I have the disc, but it's for Xbox One, not.
no, I would need it for my computer.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to put the disc in, would you?
Nah.
So I'm sorry, I do not have the PC game,
Oh well.
but it's pretty good. Like, but I got that into like the Fest one because every like section's like called a story, and I think there's like five of them.
Yeah. That's how it was originally released. Like one
Mhm.
story at a time. So that makes sense,
And I've literally like I've watched like a couple of the other like the newer games.
right?
Um, but I've like watched people's walkthroughs. But there's a one they've recently brought out. Well, I'm saying recently, I don't actually know when they brought it out. But it's like a transgender story.
Okay.
Um,
That does sound
which
like a very recent thing.
yeah, I think it is. Which I've not watched any of it yet, but um, I will do eventually. I'll get round to it. But I quite enjoyed the Mexican boys story. I don't want to tell you too much in case like you ever get them or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I quite enjoyed the Mexican boys story. I feel like I played it, but I don't know where the hell I played it from.
Uh,
But
is it on the Game
I
Pass?
know I know that I played the teaser because they brought like a little teaser game out for it, and you're like this little boy, and your dad's like an alcoholic, and you like go around your house and stuff, and that was like a teaser for like the big game coming out.
Oh God, that sounds like Among the Sleep.
But um, when you played the actual game, that character wasn't the main character,
Right.
so you kind of got. It was kind of cute because you kind of got a backstory for another character that's in the main game that you wouldn't have necessarily known. So like it was a pretty good twist that because obviously with it being a teaser, like you're thinking like, oh, this so like I'm this kid, do you know what I mean? And like I wonder what's next kind of thing. But
Yeah.
actually you're not that kid. Like it's really good. Like I don't think I've explained it and done it any justice whatsoever.
I mean, yeah. You also like the Fable games, but
Yeah, I've been thinking of replaying them because I'm pretty excited for the new Fable that's coming out. I don't know when, but
I've got the first one,
some point this
and
year.
I've only really done like the intro to it, which I think I'm just gonna start over because it's been a couple of weeks now since I've done it, and I'm just like, I don't remember any of the controls, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start
Well,
over.
I've never played the first one, but I played the second one and the third one.
Yeah.
The second one's my favorite.
So it's like, even though they're numbered, each one is like self-contained.
Yeah, they're kind of the same but different.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I can't explain it to you. Um, but like they're like different stories, but like you're always gonna be like a prince or a princess.
Right.
And you're always like going around to do like little missions and stuff and gaining your followers. But you've always got the option to be like a good person or a bad person.
Right. Yeah. I did notice that when I done my tutorial level. I
Yeah.
did
And you
one.
can
I did one bad thing, um, and then like all of the people that you went past were like saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't trust him." Like, like
yeah.
I
Did
I
you get
did
your dog yet?
say that again.
Did you get your dog yet?
No, it wasn't that far in.
I don't know if you get a dog on the first one actually, because I've never played it, but you usually do on
Uh,
the other ones.
the bad thing that I did was I found somebody who was cheating on his wife, and he said that he would give me a gold coin if I kept quiet. So I thought, okay, I'll say that I'll keep quiet and you give me the gold coin. Then I went to his wife and told, and she gave us a gold coin. So I was like, okay, I think this is what you're supposed to do. And of course, she goes off and she's like, proper nagging at him, and the dialogue is hilarious, but like it's so short. Like you could just stand there and watch them arguing, and it's just a repeat of the same thing over and over.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. Like the dialogues and stuff are really funny.
Yeah.
And on the second one, there's like a part of the game where you've got to like all these gnomes get released and you've got to go around and find these gnomes and they shout like insults at you.
Oh God.
So that
That's
like you can hear sometimes you can hear them but you can't fucking find them anywhere. Like you can,
that sounds both fun and frustrating beyond belief.
yeah, but I never worry about finishing that task because it's like goes on throughout the game. Like
Right.
'cause there's like loads of different like cities and stuff you go to, and they're literally everywhere across the map. So like, I'm never bothered about finding them all.
So it's more of a side quest than the main
Yeah,
focus. Cool.
yeah, it's not the main story, but that's what I like about it because there's like little side quests, so you can like free roam and do what you want.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's like the main story. Like you can even like get talking to people and you can get married on there and buy a house and like decorate your house. Like I've never actually personally done that because I've just never really done it. But I know people that have done. Like so it's like you can just make the game as long or short as you want, really.
Have you ever played Skyrim?
Yes, a very long time ago.
Because I haven't played it, but I've seen people do it, and it just looks like your kind of game if you're really into like Fable, because um, one of the things that you can do in the game is like you can adopt a kid, or I think you can have like a maximum of two. I'm not sure. Um, or you can become like a mage, so like learn spells and stuff,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool. Personally, I'd go down the route of becoming a mage more than having to look after somebody. But yeah,
Meow. Oh, she looks so tiny, doesn't she?
she really does.
She looks so small.
I'm thinking that we'll wrap this up soon, just 'cause I'm
Yeah.
wanting to go and watch things. So, um, is there anything else that you're wanting to talk about?
Uh, Not really. Just give my shop a little visit. Jaded Planet by Janet on Etsy.
I was just about to say you might as well plug your thing again. So, yeah, and
Shameless plug.
I'll have the links to the Etsy store in the highlights on Twitch and on the video playback on YouTube. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for today.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for watching, everybody.
we don't know whether we're going to make this a regular thing. We might have to start planning stuff a bit more. But have you enjoyed this very random chat for your
Yeah, it's
first
been
thing?
really fun. Yeah, I've quite liked it. I think, yeah, next time we'll do it, we should like plan it a little bit better. Because
Yeah,
it was like very much like, do you want to do this? Yeah, we're okay. And that was that really. Like we didn't really discuss what we were gonna do or
yeah. Well,
um
you said that you wanted to do it because I was telling you about the thing that I do with Shadow. Um, so I mean, I I don't want to structure it quite as much as I have to do with him, because obviously with him it's very much we have to do it in that time frame that I can do the live
yeah.
stream. Whereas with
No,
you,
very easy breezy, I don't mind.
yeah, whereas with you it really doesn't matter. Um, and that's just down to his disability and all of his care needs that he has, just in case anybody
Oh,
was wondering. Your cat's totally stealing the show.
I don't know what you're going, but I haven't said hello properly.
She's like, what is this?
She's just standing on my booby.
As she does.
But, oh, she's needed. Oh,
Bless. Right. Well,
yeah.
we shall see you next time whenever we do this again. I'll be back on Saturday with Shadow with our usual stuff. Um, Jan, if you just stay on Zoom while I do the sign off and everything. Um, and yeah, okay. See you all next time.
Bye. Mwah.